I want to talk about happiness today and sort of a surprising way we can hold it. And this comes something I've been thinking about, and then yesterday was talking with a congregant who's like in a place of a big threshold in life, and we were talking about like this idea of how happiness shifts. Happiness shifts from happy, like we want to be happy, to far more important that we're working towards being happy for, that it really, we want to be happy for other people. And that's a big shift. And that happy for obviously feeds back into our own individual happiness. But I want to give a little context for that. We've been looking at this beautiful old story, Rebecca and the Well. It's an old story. Won't go into all the details this morning, but it's essentially a love story where this man falls in love with this woman, and he sees her, and she's carrying a pitcher of water on her shoulder. And in that pitcher of water on her shoulder pictures, this beautiful thing that people carry with them. And it's the truth that they carry in their lives, and their wisdom and their particular outlook that can be so beautiful. And the example, to go into a little bit deeper, sorry for stuttering there, go into a little bit deeper is it's this movement from just seeing the facts of life, and that's kind of the outside, to seeing the truth, and that's the container, and then really trying to get to the inside of it, which is the goodness or love. So we go facts, truth, love. And so we look at the facts of the case, and then we have to say, okay, is there a bigger truth here? All right, how do we search for that bigger truth? And then how do we keep on going down to love? And it's very easy to get stuck at any of those two outer levels, but the reality is it's about getting to the contents of that thing. It's about getting to the heart of the matter, so to speak, as we would say in our language. And then that starts to build out. So we start to look at the facts, and the facts go into the truth, and the truth then connects in with the good or the love. And then we start to see life, and life starts to come out from that love and starts to create where there's this truth that is a very loving truth, and then it starts to see the facts, maybe even a little bit differently. It doesn't necessarily see different facts, it just sees them differently. Famous quote from a famous American theologian is believe in spite of the evidence and watch the evidence change. And it's true. That is exactly what happens. They're still there, but all of a sudden things start to shift pretty radically. So what does that mean? Let's connect it back to this idea. If it's all about my own happiness, like I can come up with a list. These are the 10 things that will make me happy. And think about the list you might have, when you're like 16 years old or 17 years old. Driver's license, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, play in the school, a part in the school play, a part on an athletic team, feeling like you fit in, whatever that might be. That's what we believe brings us happiness. And that's very age appropriate. So we go through life, and then we go in deeper relationships, and then eventually for some of us, we have kids, and all of us have loved ones. These other people we really start to care about. And what do we want to see? We really want to see them shine. That's the shift, where we really, really want to see them shine. If we get stuck into this, and this is where our culture just is like, cringeworthy sometimes. If we are 50, 60, 70 years old and all we're thinking about is our own individual happiness, we are stuck. That will not work terribly well. But if we can gently start to shift it, and it's the Lord who's shifting it, and it's us allowing the Lord to shift it into, how can I be happy for? And it's real simple. It's gratitude notes. I mean, that's how we express our happiness for other people. Like, congratulations, this looks great, wishing you all the best, thinking of you today. Like, the list goes on and on and on. And we have texting technology today, so it takes us all 10 seconds to do it. But really learning to be happy for other people and for their accomplishments. I know with having adult children, and I'm sure I will get a bunch of head nods, across the internet saying this, but it's so true. Like, I don't want my kids to, somehow have a life that's less than mine. I want them to actually experience a happiness and a joy and a connection and a sense of service greater than I experienced in my life. I mean, that's what I really want. I'm happy for them when I see them starting to really run with the ball and really make advancements in their life and really sort of find things. And I do trust that the Lord, too, over time, will start to shift their perspectives, where they really start to be happy for other people more and more. And my kids are pretty good at that, actually, I gotta say. So I don't want to make it sound like they're not. They actually are really good at that. And it's this shift again. Like, these are these transitions, these seasons that the Lord is asking us to just cooperate with him as he starts to work us through. And this is not a terribly difficult one when we move from our own happiness to happiness for. So instead of thinking, yeah, what's the bucket list? Start to think of where can you see what other people are doing, and just offer a quick little note like, hey, thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate that. Hey, I saw you did this. That's wonderful. Hey, super proud of you for doing this. And just these little things that make a huge difference in the world. They really, really do. So simple task for today is try to, as best you can. Yeah, there'll be times to think about your own happiness. Nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, find lots of space to think about other people and what are you happy for in their lives. So I hope that makes sense, dear friends. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift gears. And when we shift gears here at New Church Live, we do a little breath, listen to a prayer bell, allow that to still our minds, do a little meditation. And then after the meditation, we do a little blessing, and then we say hi to people who managed to join us on Facebook. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath and the prayer bell. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little quick hello here to folks and say hello, and hope everybody's having I really hope everybody had a great Easter. It's such an amazingly beautiful holiday. And I always feel like, frankly, as a pastor, I always feel like I give it a little bit of short shrift. I just don't spend as much time on it as I do on Christmas, which is too bad. Too bad. All right. So let's see any notes there. Rita, good morning to you, my friend. Marcus, good morning to you, buddy. And thanks again, Marcus, for all your wonderful help yesterday, as always. And now flipping over to another page here. All right, no comments over there. All right, dear friends. Well, listen, God bless. Wishing you all the best. And we'll see you again tomorrow on 10 Minutes of Morning Calm.